Hello everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to my weekly podcast where we talk and share everything music related. I hope everyone is staying safe still during this strange year that is 2020, with all its issues and all its problems. I just hope everyone is staying safe. So today is another special day. We're doing our fourth album review on the show today. I hope you guys got the chance to see the College Dropout album review, that video podcast that I did. I posted it last week. I did post it a little bit late because I was like having a tough time just editing it and putting it together and just making sure everything is good on it because there was just so many like moving pieces and usually with video, it's a little bit more complex. You can see, I think it's easier to see the mistakes with video, so I had to like just triple check, and it's quite long. So but I hope you guys do check it out. Obviously it's not here on my podcast, it's on YouTube, so to go check that out whenever you guys have time. And unfortunately, like the last podcast was, the video podcast, we're not doing another video podcast. And I think video podcasts, the hard thing about video podcasts is doing it remotely. I think that's what makes it difficult, because just getting the footage from the person you're doing the podcast with, you can do it on Zoom, which can also work. You get to see the person. So yeah, maybe you could try that, video Zoom podcast thing next time, because I think it's cool to listen to my voice, but it's also cool to see, because I think the Kanye West, College Dropout album review, we had quite a few cool stuff on that video, so please check that out. But we're not doing that today. It's a normal album review podcast, and unfortunately today as well, I won't be having a guest. I'm going to be doing it solo, and I'm doing a rock album review. I know Rock Month ended a few months ago, but we always end. So we always do the album podcast before, at the end of the next genre after it. So the genre before rock was alternative and pop. So now we're doing the rock album review, going back to it, and next month we're gonna do the alternative and pop album review. And like I said before, the rock genre is a genre that I've been having a hard time listening to these days. It's just the standard has just dropped quite a bit. But I felt that the album that I did end up choosing was a pretty cool album. It's an album that broke records, and has brought life, or you can say an album and a band or duo, whatever they are, that has brought life to rock music and did something that made people pay attention to rock music again. And the album that I'm speaking of is, obviously by the title of the podcast you already know, it's the Blurryface album by 21 Pilots, the American musical duo, Grammy-winning group, a group that's generally good, although I do wish their music was slightly better in my perspective, or maybe I liked their music more, but the music is good. But they from time to time do make, a pretty dope, hit song that's, resonates with most people. And of my list, their Blurryface album was of my list of albums that I had, of rock albums that I have, their Blurryface album was the album that like looked the most promising. And I think I really did try. I almost cheated a little bit, but like I was really hoping I could listen to this album, even though I was doing this whole point thing system. I was really hoping, but the points did end up, because obviously the record breaking thing was just such a big deal, because they had like extraordinary commercial success, and the record that they broke, actually, that I keep talking of, is they're the first artist in the digital era to have every song in their album reach at least gold. So obviously with music and the status, when I think the maximum is platinum, so you can go triple, four times platinum, and then gold is sort of the highest accolade of like, a lot of people consuming your music. So every song on this album was highly consumed, right? So at least gold was reached, and many reached platinum. So it's a pretty special album amongst people in general. They're a band that mixes many genres: hip hop, alternative, rock music, and just so much more. You can't. It's even hard to label them as just rock. They're the most successful, I would say, modern day sort of rock act right now, or like maybe not even right now, but like in general, rock music. If you can consider the music rock, they're one of the most successful. And this album is actually 21's Pilot's fourth album, but many consider it to be their best album. It's got a good review by critics as well. It has a good length. It's 14 tracks long, so we won't be here for too long. So I'm gonna do the usual, going song by song, just speak on all the tracks in the album, and just talk about the music and debate about themes that they're talking about in the music. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. Obviously, we're not gonna have that long debates that we have with when you have a guest, but the night, hopefully today, or luckily today, the podcast will be shorter. So hope you guys listen. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's get to the music. So the first track in the album is a song called "Heavy Dirt Soul." And always with me in my case is like, I always think like the first track of an album is essential, is really, really important. And I have to say that the album definitely starts well. I feel it's a song that sort of sets up the tone of what's about to come in the album, and I think that's pretty cool. Sort of like a rock slash alternative music that mixes hip hop with many other subgenres of rock and like alternative music, which is basically what this album is. It's a mixture of like so many genres. The rapping verses as well, is also featured in the song, and the rock slash alternative type, verses is sort of like a common thread. So it sets the tone well on that. The instrumental sort of reminds me a bit of like of Prodigy, that very like almost fast, aggressive, electronic, a little bit electronic sounding sound. It's a very weird sentence, but yeah, a little bit electronic sounding sound. But yeah, it just reminds you of Prodigy, and it's almost like that for every song in this album. Every song reminds you of a specific band, a specific group, a specific genre. And I think with me, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I don't know. Maybe people will judge it or say it's a good thing. Sometimes I feel it's good. Sometimes I feel it's bad. But we'll get to it a little bit more in detail later. It has like a little Kanye West moment in this part of the song. So yeah, the message of this song though wasn't really clear to me listening to the song in this album. But I read that it's linked to a Blurryface character that that he sort of created for this album, which is like I think Blurryface is linked with like mental health and stuff, because mental health and depression and stuff is a very common theme, and just emotional reactions and stuff is a common theme on this album. So I think like Blurryface is that character. But overall, a cool way to start an album, and it's something that gets you excited to listen to the rest of the music that's to come. The next song is a song that sort of needs no introduction. The song is called Stressed Out. It is obviously, luckily with rock albums, there's no feature, so you don't have to say who's featured and say where they're from and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a song is no introduction. A massively popular song. It's probably 21 Pilots' most popular song. It is their most popular song. It's currently like on YouTube in like around 2.5 billion views, and which is like insane for like a, someone that you would call a rock band. Hypothetically saying, like if you some people call them a rock band. I see them as a rock band, and for a rock song to have like 2 billion views just shows you how much they have resonated with people. And this song obviously it is a Grammy winning song, probably the song with like the deepest lyrics from the album for me personally. and possibly the deepest lyrics that they have written. And I think what's cool about this song is that, the lyrics are deep and the message is deep, and then but it's also very clear. It's very clear to understand what it's saying just by the lyrics, and then like they sort of there's a way that the lyrics and the music melody and everything just draws you in, so you're listening very captively, and just upon like listening a few times, you sort of like go with the song, and because they speak of like insecurities that most people face, but like told in like a quite brutally honest way, like just saying things that people wouldn't normally say, but like with a great melody. And I think that's what helps a lot. And the great melody thing is also a common theme on this album as well. And it's one of those songs that I knew that I already heard from the album. It's one of the 3 songs that I chose. But, once listening to the album and just understanding the story of the album a little bit, it's a song that I started liking more. I started liking more and more. Especially, yeah, what it conveys, So, yeah, overall, really dope track. The album's getting better and better and better. So the next track is called Ride. So this is another one of my chosen 3 tracks before getting the album. Pretty cool song, very cool song. This song though, unlike Stressed Out, I didn't start liking more though. It's a song, I like the song. But in this song you hear what probably to me is a sort of 21 Pilot's signature sound, like rapping with really alternative sounding instrumental tracks. And then some people like it's just the 21 Pilots sound I imagine in my head. And some people say it's reggae. They say the style is slightly reggae-ish. It doesn't feel like reggae to me though. I don't know, but it does have that reggae type beat, that like sort of like so yeah, so maybe you can say it's reggae. What's also unusual on this album is the lack of swearing. Albums these days are so rare to not have explicit language, explicit lyrics, unless it's like pop music. Yeah, and I think it's something that I wish 21 Pilots would use a bit more. They could swear a little bit more. I just feel like my issue with 21 Pilots is coming from rock, being a rock. Rock is all about like, if you quintessential rock, it's all about being edgy and being like, that's where the term rock star came from, from being really just like out there and like crazy and partying hard and just going crazy. So I wish they were a bit edgy, but it's music friendly for everyone. That's why they're so popular, probably because they're not trying to swear and show bad influences. So yeah, but it's cool. But it's a cool song, fun track. The next track is called Fairly Local. This is also a pretty cool song. It has a sound that is a bit dubstep, and dubstep is just a genre I really don't like. I could say I hate it. I think it was a genre became really popular in my like teenage years, and like I just like couldn't stand it, man. Like, and I just didn't understand why people liked it so much. But to me, when we got to this song in the album, I felt the album dipped a little bit. It's not a bad song at all, because you get some of that like cool symphony sounds on this part of the song. And also, you get a young little Miguel tribute. I think it is a Miguel tribute, but the sound just reminds me of Miguel in this part of the song. Yeah, it's just a sound like I associate with Miguel from the song A Girl with a Tattoo, which is like a crazy song. I know we're on 21 Pilot, but it's a crazy song. It's like a skit song on the All I Want Is You album, but it's just brilliant, man. So yeah, so I just felt there was a bit of similarities there. So yeah, so basically a slight dip on the album, but nothing too bad. We're still on good state. So the next track is Tear in My Heart. This track sort of gave me very 90s alternative rock vibes. Here they really departed from that, from the rapping. There's no rapping at all in the song. They actually sound a lot like the Killers on the song. That American, I think they're American, the Killers, but that rock band that was very popular for some time. Yeah, it reminds me of them for some reason. So I think in this song is where the multiple genre thing becomes an issue to me, like this whole thing of jumping of genre. Because if you're not really a fan of the Killers, you probably won't like this song. Because if you like the 21 Pilots, the rapping 21 Pilots, you probably won't like the song too much, because it's very alternative rock, very that. But yeah, it is a popular song I've seen, and I feel like I felt like they tried to take elements from rock bands that worked and recreated it, and I didn't really feel they recreated in their own way, but they did it in some way as the same way as like the original artist they got inspired, that inspired them. And I think songs would be better if they sort of combined sort of those influences, that those different rock influences, and made something new. That would have maybe been doper to me. It made the songs better. But it's a bit hard when when you have too many influences and you want to embrace all of them. But overall, the song is catchy. It doesn't stick with the memory a lot, but it's just that chorus a little bit. Tear in my heart. So this is one of my favorite songs from the album. I obviously started the podcast with this song. I really like the rap portions of the song. I also just really like the message of the song. They in the song, they talk about the whole my previous point about having too many influences. Like, but they say in the songs like we do things but our mind changes. Basically what they're saying is this, they go create their own lanes, they can go on your lane, and basically that's what the song about. It's like them, people telling them to stay in your lane, boy, but they do what they want to. They can go on your lane, they can go on the other lane, and that's just who they want to be, rebellious in that way. But it does feel more, the lyrics to me does feel a bit more like they are commenting more on their rapping aspect, because I feel they probably got a bit of criticism from the rap community for being a pop rock band trying to rap. They maybe thought that they didn't have the lifestyle, they grew up in the burbs or the suburbs and they weren't raised in the hood. He actually says that in the song. Those are the lyrics. Yeah, so maybe that's why they got the criticism. Maybe that's why they saying, they can go in any lane. You can, can't tell me nothing, like Kanye West said. But yeah, but I also I like how, they do this whole switch and go from, in the bridge, they go to like this sort of EDM beat type song, type instrumental, which was cool. I liked it. I don't know if it's EDM or whatever it is. It's something electronic EDM or so many genres these days. But overall, a pretty dope track, strong message, awesome melody, probably one of my favorites. Like I said, Lane Boy, dope. So the next track is called The Judge. So here I think they back on, trying new lanes. Here they go for like a whole like Mumford and Sons sound, sort of like folk rock sound. I think it's folk rock probably. But I think one of the positive things about this album is that it's very listenable. It's very easy to listen to. It's an album that doesn't bore you. Every song is entertaining enough for you to not feel like skipping it. The songs are not necessarily memorable, but good enough. I like the fact that it jumps from folk rock to rapping and to a more rock type sound in the bridge, then alternative like sounding, almost sounding a little bit like, only reference I can think is like Cage the Elephant. Some songs we heard from them like a few weeks back, on the bridge of the song, or maybe another band. I don't know. I don't know Cage the Elephant that well. But yeah, man, this song really jumps from like almost like five genres in one. But it works, you know, it works and it flows really well. That's what's amazing about them. I think that's what's special about these guys. These guys, they sort of know how to structure a song well, even with like, a ton of influences. And yeah, man, this song is pretty cool. And the lyrics of the song are also pretty cool. It's sort of a mixture of messages that I I don't really get clearly, but you could sense there's something there. Like he's saying something, but I don't really understand it, because they try to play with like messaging and stuff, and we're gonna get that a little bit later on some other tracks. But obviously, yeah, pretty cool track. I feel that like the album did get back up right now. The next track is called Doubt. So this is one that has the melody that sounds, I'd say, the least like rock. A song that comments on like sad things but has a very upbeat chorus. So it's a third like, sad like singing vibe in the verse, but then chorus it gets a little bit upbeat. I think that's why the songs from this album became so popular. It's this whole thing. You talk about sad themes or even serious themes, but they always have like an upbeat chorus or upbeat-ish sound where you don't notice that it's about sadness. So one can always vibe to it. That's what people do. People want to vibe to songs, and I think it'll get you popularity. And the songs in this album, they really feel ever melancholic. Besides like the last song that we're gonna get to later, a song, but this song, it comments on themes of loneliness, and I think what also helps the song be easy to consume is that they're pretty short. Songs in this album are pretty short. Most songs are 3 minutes long, so it makes it makes it an album that one can just glide through. It's never you never had like those 8 minute songs that you can get on some albums. Sometimes 6 minutes. Like Tool. Tool songs are long as hell. They only have like 10, 5, 9 songs, but they're like 10 minutes. So yeah, man, it's an album you can glide through. It's not a lot of songs, but it's quite. It's 14 tracks, but yeah. So yeah, so overall, this song, Doubt, overall nice track. Not great, but good enough. Like the usual. Help me polarize, help me down. They chorus, it's be nice. I like the chorus. So you could say they went reggae on the song. So the name of the song is called Polarize. I think I tend to like these songs with a strong hip hop influence more. This one has a strong hip hop influence. You can say the chorus is reggae-ish, but it does have a strong hip hop influence. I'm jumping to my next point. But this is a song I don't really have much to say. It's just vibey. But I don't feel too much to it. It's just the chorus catchy. Like I'm starting to like the song right now. As I'm recording this, I'm starting to like the song a little bit more. Just thinking of the chorus. Help me polarize, yeah, man. Just sounds reggae and pretty fun. You know, I was gonna say it's a dip, but then maybe it's not a dip. Maybe it's not. They have a bit of a Gorillaz moment at the bridge at this point here. So yeah, I don't know if it's a Gorillaz if Gorillaz made up that sound, but it just reminds me of Gorillaz when I listen to that sound. There's a specific song by Gorillaz that has that. I don't know, I don't remember which one it is, but it's a song. But the lyrics of this song make it feel like it's he's fighting something, I think, Help me polarize, you know. Gotta stop doing that. It's like he's fighting something, some something that's polarizing him. I don't know, that's polarizing. But that's the way he does it. It's like a heavy message actually, but he does it in such a lighthearted way, in like a polarized, catchy like sound. So yeah, man, it's actually a cool track. This track, that's the thing with this album. This album is so listenable that like you can just listen to it like so many times and not get tired of it. It's not greatness, but it's just strange album. It's just good enough. It's just really, it's good. It's really good. So the next track is called "We Don't Believe What's on TV." So this song feels like another Muffin and Sons song, or possibly the Lumineers. Maybe a Lumineers type vibe. The Lumineers. I always tend to mix up those two bands. Lumineers, Mumford and Sons. They sound very similar to me. As someone who's not a big fan, but I'm probably sure if I was a fan, I would clearly know the difference. Because I think it's very hard for two people to be popular and sound exactly the same. But the song has, a folk feel. We don't believe what's on TV. This song, similar to the previous track that we heard, The Judge. Not the previous, but the tracks a few tracks back. Early on in the album. I also like the lyrics of this song, especially when he says, what if my dreams don't happen, what it's something that people always think about, especially when you're chasing your dreams. You're like, what if they don't happen? What are you going to tell your friends? What are you going to, so yeah, I just like the way he like says his message sometimes, in a very honest way, deep insecurities, but he just puts them out there. This is one part I'm confused, where he talks about the hair and stuff, all this hair stuff. I just don't, yeah, like the selling hand thing. Someone please explain that to me. Yeah, I don't understand. It feels strange. Yeah, maybe racial a little bit, but very upbeat, cool song. I couldn't exactly pinpoint how they sound in the song, but yeah, this song is called "The Message Man." And yeah, man, it's just the sound of the song is like on my head because it sounds like a band, but I just can't pinpoint who it is. It's tormenting me a little bit because, like I said, every song sounds like a specific artist here and there, but the song does have that sort of reggae feel that they like talking about. But you could say that the pre-verse sound is very alternative sounding, maybe like MGMT type sound. I don't know if it's a pre-verse or pre-chorus or what it is. Just that that high pitch singing thing. That MGMT does sometimes. Maybe the rapping aspect of this of their music is the one thing that is constant for sure. They always rap. It's always alternative rap, hip hop. I mean rock rap, everything rap. But one thing that is evident in this album is a play of melody and message that we've been talking about, and lyrics. And this song, it almost feels like they are calling that out. When people attack someone for melody and not always for the actual message. So don't attack the message, man. Only because the melody doesn't sound the way you would want it to. Because if it sounds, it's that thing. If it sounds sad, then you're gonna say, it's a sad song. I don't wanna listen to this sad song. But you know, it can be dangerous. Because like you can hide a really deep message in a really upbeat music. Then one can run away from all the controversies and stuff. Or maybe even have controversial message and then just have like a really upbeat beat or sound, or make it sound like it's a happy song. So yeah, man, it's a little bit. That's the thing with pop music. That's why like such trivial music sometimes becomes so popular. So I think that maybe it's a possible issue to me. You know, that's why like maybe your Takashi 6 9s are so popular because they make the sounds that people like, or like upbeat, because upbeat music is just what sells now. But yeah, but back to the song. All right track. I think from the point, most of the songs in the album are pretty average though. Nothing really stands out anymore. It's just cool track, but nothing you go wow. You know. So the next track is called Hometown. This track they went for. I keep saying this, guys, but I would say they went for MGMT vibe. You could say it's them. I don't really. Maybe like Twisted Sisters. This guy's called Twisted Sisters. I think it's Twisted Sister. Or just that high pitch singing. Someone who has that. I'm not sure if it's MGMT or if it's who it is. But yeah, it has a combination of that. But you also get some of really strong, YouTube vibes on the pre-chorus, like where there's like the guitar playing and just the way he sings and stuff. You can hear it, like just hear it right here. Where we're from, there's no sun. Our hometown's in the dark. Where we're from. But funny enough, the verse sound is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool sound, and I like I said, they took elements from other bands that worked well, and just brought it. And I personally just have an issue when I feel people are not using influences authentically, when you feel like the influence is there to be different and not because they actually influenced by the music. And sometimes with them, I do get that impression that just using those influences to be different and not what they really. Because I think if you are influenced by someone, you wouldn't do exactly what they did. Like you think out a different way to do it, to present it. Like yeah, I just think I don't know about that. Maybe you guys can comment. So I have no guest to talk with me. Maybe you guys can say something. Yeah, create something new. Mix things up, make something new. Don't sound like U2 and MGMT and like Mumford and Sons and then Prodigy. I have a slight issue with that. There's too many influences thing. It's just music is not bad. It's good. So the next track is called Not Today. Second last track of the album. Been talking for quite a while. But luckily I'm just, it's a little different today because I'm not like, the music's not playing and I'm not talking and blah, blah, blah. It's more blah, blah, blah. It's blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking a lot, I'm just talking. But I think with albums, it's better to talk than like, you should go listen to it. I shouldn't be giving you the song. You should go listen to it. And this song is actually quite interesting. I think it goes even deeper on the sadder themes. So it's like, comments a little bit on maybe him feeling a little bit depressed, maybe. And again, I really like in a really light-hearted way, in a really happy way. And even he goes to the extent, because he knows the album is gonna end. He says that this is a contradiction to the way it sounds, And the song, it could be, it sounds almost like a breakup or like just, whatever, or fight with someone. And what it could possibly mean in terms of like meaning is it's his fight with this character, the Blurryface character. Him fighting, saying not today, not today, you're not gonna show up today. And I think what Blurryface means, or the character means, I think it's linked to just mental health, because I think with mental health or depression and stuff, it's like it's almost like your face is blurry. It's like someone sees you, but they don't really see you. They're seeing someone else, not really someone else, but like you're not being yourself. You're hiding something deep inside, so your face is like blurry, but they can see you. So that's maybe what blurry face is. And him saying not today is like, today, Blurryface, today you're not showing up, you're not gonna dominate me and enter my body and exist in me. I'm gonna be me. So it's a phenomenally deep message, but presented in such a, it's actually very smart, in a very smart way, you know that it doesn't feel like it's a sad song. Like if you just listen to this instrumental, you're like, wow, this can't be a song about depression. So yeah, man, it's really so you get why people love the album. But overall, this is actually a pretty good track. Pretty good track. Sometimes I just change my mind as I'm recording, because that's the thing with this album. This album is just like so listenable, that you start liking it the more you listen to certain songs. So maybe the 20th time, I probably heard it like 10, 11 times, I'll like it even more. So this is the last track of the album. It's called Goner. And it's the only track in the album that actually sounds sad or melancholic. And it's actually very smart of them, to put only the only sad sounding melody in the album right at the end. That's why I feel like it's a hard album to skip, because I think if this song was like in the middle, you just skip it. And then like, because you're like, that's a sad song. Probably more sad songs coming, then you'd skip other stuff and you wouldn't even get to the end of the album. But they're very smart in putting it right at the end. Yeah, because sad songs can make you feel a little bit down. Sometimes you just don't want to feel down. Sometimes you just want to, you are down, but you don't want to feel happy. Like my previous guest once said, it's like when she's sad, she doesn't actually listen to sad music, you know, because maybe it'll just make you more sad, maybe. And I think what also happens is that the one sad song feels more powerful when you listen to it at this point of the album, because it's the only part in the album where he sort of lets his emotions get out and like almost outbursts, where like he's singing sad, he's bursting out and he's not holding back, his sad melody, sad singing performance. And it's powerful. And it's obviously talking back about the Blurryface character. He wants to take him out, and he feels like he's a goner, and like he really wants to get off this mental state. It's very powerful, very, very powerful, in terms of lyrics and melody and stuff. And like, it's actually quite rare for rock music these days, to just have like really out there message and the way they present it. So it's really dope. And, so yeah, so I think this is actually a rising album for me. Like, I actually really like this track as well. I think just at the point where it is in the album, and for some reason, also in the song, I really like the part where he screams. I think it's that thing, that I talked about. It's an outburst, he's outbursting his emotion and just getting everything out and sort of trying to. That's why the song's called Goner, because he's trying to get all the this emotion, this blurry faced character that's not really him, trying to enter his body and like gets stuck in there, but he wants to get it out. And so yeah, very, very deep message, very, very cool way to end an album. And it has that that U2 feel again, especially when you get into the like end portions of the song. And yeah, it sounds very rock, very, very rock. That's why I always say they are rock band and not like alternative guys. But yeah, man, overall, great, great, great album closer. Since it's an album closer, I'm gonna let it play until the end, so you guys can just listen to it.